What fact are you just tired of explaining to people? That I'm not lonely or sad, I just like to spend time by myself. Bro, same. We should never hang out sometime. I'd like that. Correlation doesn't equal causation. Are you meaning to tell me that pirates don't actually prevent climate change? Sadly, all people who believe correlation equals causation will die. That it's perfectly legal to walk around carrying an axe, even in the middle of the night. Username Fitz? That being deaf really means I can't hear you at all. All the shouting doesn't help me to hear you. That being deaf really means that I can't hear myself either, my tone of voice, or tell how loudly quietly I am speaking, so please stop getting mad at me for it. What a fact people do that? Yes. And not just to deaf people. My mother is no longer allowed in my house because when she found out that my mother-in-law doesn't speak English, she spoke very loudly and slowly to her. When we explained that it wasn't appropriate and that anyone else in the house, including her 3 grandkids, could translate for her, she continued to yell at my poor mother-in-law, who was scared and confused by all of this. Just because you don't understand science doesn't make it not true. I'm bipolar. To people that naively tell me, everyone is a little bit bipolar. Long drawn out sigh. No. I can assure you they are not. I woke up happy and now I'm sad. I'm so bipolar. I fucking hate this. Same thing as, everyone is a little ADHD. If you're only a little, then you're not. Depression is not just being sad, and depression does not equal weakness. Fucking tired of battling this stigma. Also, that lack of energy equals depression. Yeah, turned out my blood pressure was way too low. Any type of diet, plants, or hocus pocus voodoo isn't going to cure my cancer. It's a chromosome switch, so unless they can switch my chromosomes back into the right places, it's not happening. Okay, but have you tried using crystals? Nah dog, it's the essential oils that my man needs. Assless chaps are just chaps. If they had an ass, they'd be pants. You get tired of explaining this daily? Really? I am in IT. That does not mean I can single-handedly make a game or large-scale software. At the same time, I also cannot hack the Pentagon or release encrypted files from another hacker. Also, side note, while I was reinstalling Windows for you, I did not break your toaster and radio on opposite sides of the house, and have no idea how to repair them or your microwave. K, thanks, bye. My friend, who knows shit pile of poo about computers, download Blender, keeps telling me we need to make a game. I'm pretty good at Photoshop and other apps, never used Blender, don't know the first thing about programming a game. Finish your beer and go to bed. Why you should care about your fellow human beings? That nobody wants to work is only half correct. Nobody wants to work 60 hours a week for poverty wages just so they can afford to live. And how the ones that do aren't lazy for taking a day off for themselves. We work to live, we don't love to work. That rebooting a computer actually fixes most fucking problems. We can also check when the last time you rebooted, so stop fucking lying to me, Kathy. I will never fucking forgive Microsoft for making shutdown and Win 10 not actually power off. I've probably spent a full week of my life explaining to people that simple, yet absolutely nonsensical and asinine fact. I restarted yesterday. Checks uptime, 23 days. Sir, did you shut down or restart? Fuck me, it haunts my dreams and I don't even work that job anymore. That freedom of speech doesn't mean you get to say what you want, whenever you want, in whatever forum you want, without consequence. Juice in a rare steak is not blood. What is it? As a speech and language therapist, I am responsible for somebody's safe swallow to prevent aspiration, pneumonia, or choking. There is more to my profession than teaching a child to stop stuttering. A fucking man. Y'all are the real MVPs. Y'all and sped teachers and all sped paras. My son has chronic hypotonia, which made learning to do everything a fucking challenge, including speaking. He was in speech therapy for 15 damn years and still can only manage a mumble that only about 3 people can understand. And that's if he's not feeling some extreme emotion, at which point he begins speaking so quickly even I can't understand him, and I'm fucking fluent in mumblies. Without a speech-language therapist, he might not even be able to do that. Piggybacking as a former healthcare worker, if speech tells us your loved one is supposed to be NPO, nothing by mouth, or on thickened liquids, please don't try and give them a sip of your pop from McDonald's. If they're on puree foods, please don't get Meemaw chicken nuggets because they were her favorite. Oh look, Meemaw's dead now, either from choking or pneumonia after she aspirated some of that ranch dressing and Coke. Please listen to speech. They know what they're talking about. Yeah, Meemaw hates puree and thickened liquids, but y'all refused to DNR her after the first heart attack. So she's still here, hating everything she eats and drinks. Gifts must be reported to the IRS if they are over $17,000. Gifts over $12.92 million in the giver's lifetime are taxable, and the giver has to pay the tax. They tax gifts to avoid rich people dodging estate taxes by giving everything away before they die. Edit. Wow. This post is about being tired of explaining things, and I am stuck here explaining gift inheritance taxes. Unless you have a net worth of over $13 million, do not bitch to me about having to pay inheritance tax. Because you will not have to. If you do have a net worth above $13 million, shut the fuck up and pay your damn taxes. You whining bitch snowflake. When Oprah did her whole "you get a car" thing, the winners all had to pay $6,000 or $7,000 in taxes to accept the cars. But Oprah and the showrunners didn't have to pay because it was a promotional deal. That was not a gift. It was categorized as a sweepstakes contest win, fully taxable as income for the winners. Just because you don't see what harm your actions cause others doesn't mean there's no harm done. Having the right of way doesn't exempt you from responsibility. Just walking, or pulling, out into traffic and expecting everybody to see you, perceive you, and be able to stop in time is a good way to get hit by a bus. Are you in the right? Yes. Does it always matter? No. Physics will always win. When I was younger, I would complain to my dad, "But I have the right of way," and his response still sticks with me in many applications. You can be dead and right. Graveyards are full of people who had the right of way. The world is round, you simple-minded fuck. If someone really thinks the earth is flat, I don't think it is worth the effort to try to convince them. Going up a tax bracket doesn't result in a pay cut. I'm in my early 30s. I work with a lot of younger people, mostly 18 to 23-year-olds. No, you're not going to get rich off crypto. No, you're not going to get rich off meme stocks. Yes, 16% interest rate on a car loan is terrible. And buying a brand new Dodge Challenger at 19 years old is not the smartest idea. You complained about tanking up your Toyota Camry the other day. Come on now. We do not only use 10% of our brain. If you only used 10% of your brain, you'd be dead. We only use 33% of a traffic light. Imagine how traffic would be if we used 100% of the traffic light. Nobody needs your permission to photograph you in public. I used to be a security guard, and the amount of people who think this is astonishing. No, you don't need a release form for that. You can't sue them if they put you on YouTube, etc. You have no expectation of privacy in public spaces. Edit to clarify. I'm talking about the USA. Laws are different in other countries. Hubs recently retired from a certain unnamed package delivery service. For the last several years of his employment, he always just assumed that he was being filmed at all times. That served him well and kept him off of YouTube, aside from positive feel-good stories about pets. That I enjoy going to the movie theater by myself, especially if it's a film I'm looking forward to seeing, and I don't have to wait for anyone else to come with me. Losing weight is easier if you watch your diet and count your calories versus busting your ass at the gym every day. That just because I'm black does not mean that I'm an expert, the go-to guy on all things African American. Seriously. Along those lines, I can like a woman who's not black because of qualities she has that have nothing to do with her skin color, ethnic background, or not like a black woman because of the same things. If she's from Mumbai and would actually listen to me argue with someone why Professor X could use his mental blasts to take out a Mark II Sentinel and get me another beer instead of head for the door, why does it matter what her hair color is or where her people are from? She likes me enough to put up with my bullshit. Why should I look for someone that you think I should be with to make you happy with who should be with whom? Just saying. Just because something offends you doesn't mean it's gotta go. Flossing is associated with healthy teeth and gums. Women's vaginas don't get permanently stretched out because they have had multiple sexual partners. Absolutely sick of explaining female anatomy to idiots who spread that nonsense. Just because someone is poor doesn't mean they want your money. Just because someone is poor doesn't mean they deserve to be abused. Just because someone is poor doesn't mean they're not worthy of help. Just because someone is poor doesn't mean they don't work hard. The difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. I am not a recovering alcoholic. I just don't enjoy alcohol grinning face. The difference between race, ethnicity, and nationality. Hair doesn't grow back thicker after you shave it off. That just because I'm a woman does not mean I have to have kids or that I am even good with them. Poor people are not poor because they want to be poor. The vast majority of religious believers cringe just as hard as you do and wish the loud extremist minority would go away and shut up just like you. Edit adds. It's a shame that so many people assume first which religion and second that these discussions don't already take place within the communities of these religions. They do. The difference is, either side is smart enough to realize that screaming your belief into the other's face will never actually work. It only makes you the savage you think you are disagreeing with. And this all sucks that I have to edit a larger piece into this because people still want to assume the worst and shout their beliefs into another's face. I am not Chinese. I don't speak Vietnamese or Chinese. Yes, I'm Irish. Have you considered being Chinese at some point in the future? 18 years of reinforced. Go to college and you'll get a good job. Growing up has led to an entire generation of adults who are on average more educated than prior generations when the number of jobs that would actually require those educations have not really increased in any significant numbers. So now more roles that don't actually need the education can still ask for it and get candidates with that education requirement applying because they can't get anything else. Add on the fact that tuition rates have been increasing at a much higher rate than inflation since at least the 80s, while Uncle Sam happily foots the upfront costs, and you wind up with a generation of people with significant debt making less than their expected income that can't afford to pay it off. Don't forget to add in that public schools don't, or at least didn't about 15 years ago when I graduated, have any mandatory classes to teach about loans in general, student loans, interest, etc. So kids signed up for these loans with only a very vague idea of what they were signing up for. And finally, even if Biden's debt forgiveness passes, which I hope it does, as it will definitely help people, it will still do nothing to address the underlying issues and actually solve any problem. It will just put a band-aid over the issue for another year. The fact that medical facts will always change over time, specifically with pregnancy. I'm tired of explaining to friends and family members that me drinking coffee or having caffeine won't kill my baby, or me lifting something heavier than 25 pounds won't kill me or my child. It's simply annoying to literally be pregnant, be actively going through an experience with new medication and be getting updated facts, and have people who gave birth for the last time 15 plus years ago tell me I'm a bad mother for doing things my doctor has said is perfectly fine. That most recycling ends up in the landfill. You are not being environmentally friendly just because you recycle. Reducing and reusing are much, much better for the environment. Recycling is the last resort, only one small step up from garbage. Digital art does not mean the computer draws for you. Whenever I show someone a portrait I did and say I did it in Photoshop, they practically roll their eyes, and it makes me want death. That when I say I'm not ever having children, that I'm not ever having children. Not that it's an opportunity to tell me how, why, when I'll change my mind. That AI-generated content needs to be regulated now, it's already getting out of hand. That having the money to buy something doesn't mean you can afford it. Just because someone says something you don't like or disagrees with you isn't gaslighting. Gaslighting has become the new fascist. Both words originally had a specific definition, but they have been constantly misused by people to describe basically anything they don't like, to the point where they're basically meaningless now. The McDonald's coffee lawsuit lady was very justified in winning her case. Trickle-down economics has never and will never work. Ever. Period. End of story. Autism is a spectrum. Some people are way better at masking their symptoms than others, and people have different symptoms that vary in severity. Also, what a sensory overload is like. I literally had one the other day and people told me I should drink water, sleep better, and eat something. Nah, mates, all I need is to get out of this damn room so my brain doesn't die from trying to process all the noises there. ADHD is real, adults can have it too, and it's not cured by a belt, just trying, or cutting back on caffeine sugar. It's actually very debilitating at times and is the primary contributor to a lot of problems that adults with it struggle with. It's extremely hard to find the help you need past a certain age because even the medical industry has a terrible understanding of adult ADHD. And no, not everyone is a little bit ADHD. Parts of the brain are literally underdeveloped due to lagging behind while developing. It literally prevents me from being able to redirect my attention and tune out background noises. It makes my default mode network, the part of the brain that chatters when you are at rest not doing anything, incessantly chatter in my head all day every day. It makes the part of my brain responsible for inhibiting emotions or thoughts extremely difficult. It's mentally exhausting. It prevents the part of my brain responsible for motivation from functioning correctly. It's not laziness, it's literally my brain not being able to communicate with itself properly to get me to take action. And yes, it literally affects my mood and my display of emotions. It's not bipolar. I just can't regulate how I show normal emotions effectively. If I blow up at you when you piss me off, it's not anger problems. I literally can't hold myself back unless I am getting the help I need to manage the ADHD. And yes, that means stimulant drugs for me. No, it's not meth. Yes, it functions similar to speed. It calms me down because I am chronically understimulated and my brain takes over seeking stimulation, hyperactivity, chatter, daydreaming, etc. Stimulants put me on even footing with everyone else. I likely try harder than you every day with everything I do because I start the race with my feet tied and a mile behind the starting line. So stop telling me that I just don't try hard enough. And please just educate yourself. ADHD is the most well-researched and studied disorder on Earth, and too many people don't even believe it exists. No, it wasn't invented in the 70s by a man who said he made it up. There are 200-plus-year-old medical journals detailing it. The grandfather of medicine, Hippocrates, has writings describing patients that are believed to be the earliest recorded instances of ADHD, and the treatments he gave them line up with herbs, vitamins and minerals that tend to help ADHD the most. And that's from the 4th century BC. It's not a made-up problem from 50 years ago. Feminism is equality and against bias towards genders. It doesn't mean men hate. That is like the opposite of the definition of feminism. That you don't have to be white to be racist. There are non-white racists too. To add to that, 1. There's no reverse racism, it's just racism. 2. Just because you're black doesn't mean you're not racist towards black people. That's literally a point of characters like Uncle Ruckus. That I'm not quiet, I just don't want to talk to you. Learning that gay people exist does not automatically lead those people to turn gay. 501c3 tax-exempt organizations, which includes churches as well as many other not-for-profits, are not forbidden from all forms of political speech. They are forbidden from participating in political campaigns on the behalf of candidates, and certain forms of political activity which is clearly partisan. Schizophrenia is not the same as a split personality. And split personality is now called dissociative identity disorder. Schizoid personality disorder is not schizophrenia. That one gets trying too. That psychological disorders are an explanation for behaviors, maybe not an excuse, but a literal reason behind them. And also, everyone doesn't have a hard life and life isn't supposed to be as hard as it is for some. So no, I can't just simply get out of bed and go to school work just because everyone else can. They may be struggling too, but I doubt most people feel like they would really rather be dead. The unemployment rate is a percentage of the labor force, which is a percentage of the non-institutional civilian population of the United States, which is a percentage of the total population. 5 to 10% unemployment doesn't mean 5 to 10% of people don't have jobs. It means 5 to 10% of the people within a certain age range and that aren't institutionalized that are actually looking for jobs and report their efforts in trying to find one, are unemployed. You can have 5 to 10% unemployment, while 50% of the population is jobless. That I have autism and what it means. I told this to a coworker and she started treating me like I was an idiot. When she found out I lived by myself, she told me that she was so proud of me for being so independent in such an over-the-top, obnoxious, condescending way it pissed me off. It's like, yeah, I can also cook for myself and wipe my own ass too. Thanks. I would explain to relatives that my kid had autism after the diagnosis, and they would reply, "Doesn't look like it. Oh, must have been cured then, my bad." I am disabled, even though you can't see it. The injuries are inside my spine. Yes, I look like I'm fine, walking around. But I honestly can't stand on moving vehicles, so I do need the disabled seat on public transit. Also, I get quite tired of the follow-up questions. How'd you hurt yourself? Can't they fix it? What did you do wrong to deserve this? That you can disagree with someone and still be friends. You can also have different political beliefs and be friends. That depends very much in what sort of disagreements and political beliefs are being talked about. That women aren't objects. That trans people are not abducting and sexually abusing children. Books don't make kids gay either. Yes. Also, gender-affirming care for minors does not mean chopping off their bits or other irreversible actions the day they come out. Surgery is a big step at the end of a long road, including lots of therapy, social transition, and consultations with medical professionals. Respecting a child's, or anyone's, chosen name and pronouns is not as hard as you think it is, and means everything to them. That gas, oil, prices are controlled by a global market, not the President of the United States. Want to blame someone for high gas prices? Blame OPEC. That you are responsible for your own actions. I'm single by choice. No, I don't want to go on a dating site. No, I don't want to go on a date with your friend, and I'm happy alone. That you can't get the flu from the flu shot. I'm a triplet. It's me, my brother, and my sister. 2 girls and a boy. No, we are not identical. No, my sister and I are not identical, and our brother is not. No, we can't be identical if he's a boy because that means we have different chromosomes. Yes, we can be related and not look the same. That physics is a real thing, and that 2 planes literally crashed into the Twin Towers, and the towers really did fell because of the damage the planes did. Jet beams can't melt steel fuel. Polyamory is not a fix for issues in your monogamous relationship, nor a license to cheat. In fact, it usually magnifies the issues. How lottery odds work. Yes, you actually double your chances of winning if you buy 2 tickets instead of 1. Trust me. But double not a lot is still not a lot. It doubles your chance of winning while at the same time affecting your chances by almost nothing. Longitude, latitude, GPS, and how it simply would not work if the Earth was flat. Dispelling the idea that the Dark Ages was a 1,000-year-long era of intellectual stagnation and ignorance caused solely by the Catholic Church. I don't work because I can't work, due to multiple conditions. I want to work, so ridiculously much. I'm not cashing a check to sit around and be lazy. I live in agony every day and watch life pass by with me not being a part of it. That's the worst pain of all. 2 truths can exist at once. Censoring speech is the first step toward oppression of all society. That people having sex in a way different than you is not a reason to hate someone. You can't catch a cold from being cold. When people say they caught a cold from going out with wet hair, etc., that's not how it works. A cold is a virus. Cold air depresses your immune system and make it harder for it to function, though. So it's an indirect effect. But if you go out when it's freezing and then get exposed to a cold virus, you're more likely to get infected with it because your immune system isn't at full strength. This is why there's a winter cold and flu season in climates that have cold winters. Not recently, but during the pandemic with my conservative friends. A vaccine isn't binary. Having doesn't mean you 100% will never get the disease, and not having doesn't mean you will 100% get the disease. It just makes it so that you're less likely to get it, and if you do, you're less likely to die. This concept just didn't seem to stick. The ingredients in your food are impacting your health more than you think. Outgoing introvert is not the same thing as an extrovert. People will say straight to my face, "I don't believe you," when I say I need to recharge by myself. I'd love for them to witness the post-socialization hibernation that occurs after every gathering. Foreskin has function and is extremely sensitive. To forcibly remove it from a child or non-consenting person is nothing other than genital mutilation. English is not the official language of the USA. There is no official language. Conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat, just stop already. If you make under $500K a year or struggle at all, you should be banded together against these people who are stealing from you while you argue with the very folks who should be helping each other. What fact are you just tired of explaining to people? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.